Hey guys, welcome back to Rod Smoking Stuff. Today I'm going to show you how to cook the perfect brisket. Out of all my testing, out of all the videos I've made, I'm going to show you what I've come up with that I believe is the perfect brisket. So stick around and I'll show you how I do it. Alright guys, so the first thing you want to do is start out with a good quality meat. This is from Costco. It's a prime beef brisket. If you want to get a prime brisket, you're going to have a better product if you start with a better product, okay? So this is 13 and a half pounds, 13.49. I'm going to get this out of the package and then I'll show you how we trim. Alright guys, so first thing we're going to do, I'm going to lay out my paper towels to throw my fat on. But anyway, this first side, we want to get most of this off of it. I want to trim all this off. And I just take a little bit at a time. That way I can see, that's a lot bit at a time, but I could see I needed to go way deeper. So you come here, I'm going to trim right down this side here. Get all this fat and all that brown right there where the oxidation of the meat is. We're going to get that off. And we're going to come back in here and we're just going to trim this off. Any of these big chunks up here on the top, we want to try to get off. Just like that. And you want a sharp knife. This is a sharp knife. It makes a big difference. This stuff here isn't going to be any good. So you want to get all that off. And so, you know, sometimes if these are a little bit frozen, it makes them easier, but this one's nice and fresh, so. You can just get your knife underneath there, kind of work it up underneath, and you come back, kind of pull this off. You can work on this as long as you'd like. I tend to get the big pieces off, and if you take and lift this up a little bit like that, you can come in here, get some of this. There's a piece just floating around that was underneath there. Get some of this off of here. But that's about good enough. I'm not going to worry about getting every bit of it because it doesn't seem to make a lot of difference in the end product. That's about all the trimming we're going to do to this side. We're going to go ahead and flip this over. Now this is hanging off here. That's just going to burn up. So we're going to go ahead and trim that off. And what I'll do with these pieces of meat like this is I'll just throw that on the smoker and partway through the cook have myself a little snack. And we're going to take and round this off down here. It's pretty thin. But we won't waste this, like I say. I'll throw that on the smoker and we'll have a little snack part way through the cook there. Chef's treat. Alright. Point end. I get pretty aggressive with getting the fat off it. It's got enough fat that a lot of people say cut it to a quarter. But I'll cut a little more than that off of this end usually, because it's got tons of fat on it anyway. In the meat too, you know. Some flies buzzing my head. I've got my fan on up overhead trying to keep them away, and it helps, but it doesn't do it all. A little deep there, but it's no big deal. It's still on this point end. Flat end's a little more critical. That flat end doesn't have a lot of fat on it. I'm gonna look at it, but might be able to leave it alone pretty much. Well, it's a little thick down here. See, it's thick down on this end, so I'll take a little bit of that off. It's got a lot of fat on it. It's nice soft fat though, because it's that prime. This side over here is pretty good. I'm going to cut this chunk of fat here out of it. Just a little off this. Just got where they hacked it up right there. This up here though, it all feels pretty good. I'll smooth this out just a little more. Get the end of the, got a big chunk of fat right here on the end of this. Cut that little piece of meat off because it's gonna just burn up. Hands are slick, I can't get a hold of it. There we go. Say, a little bit deep there, but on this point end, I'll even sometimes take that point end all the way, just take all the fat off of it, because I feel like it's got so much in it anyway, it doesn't really need it. But this is my best way of doing it. I just trim it off about, I like it about, actually like that, about 1/8 of an inch thick there. This is about 1/4. This up here is a little bit thick still. I could take a little bit off of here. Probably right here too. Alright, that's good enough. So now, let's turn this thing over again. This side. Let's see, we're looking much better. I am going to trim this because I feel like that's really thin and it's just going to burn that edge. Just like that. Flat's looking good. Point's looking good. I do need to get this off here. See that big old chunk of fat. It's amazing how much fat comes off of these, how much fat you're paying for. Kind of irritates you. Some people go in here and cut this out. Sometimes I do a bit, but this time I'm leaving it because I think it's better if it's left. Okay, so after we get it all trimmed, we're going to get some Worcestershire sauce. And we're just gonna coat this thing down. As much as a binder, it just adds a little bit of more beefiness. Can't ever go wrong with the old W sauce. Okay, then my first tip, 0 salt beef bouillon. Don't want to get the stuff with the salt, because if you do and you add salt, you'll have very salty brisket, trust me. But this gives it a really, really rich beefy flavor, and I just put a nice good coating on there, about like that. And I'm not rubbing it in, I'm just going to pat it so that when I turn it over, it all doesn't fall off. It's a tip for you. Pat it, it won't make it so that it sticks and won't fall off. Okay, I'm going to get these edges. I just like to put some on my hand, kind of pat it on there, then I don't waste a bunch of it. Now you can buy this no salt beef bouillon on Amazon. You can also find it at Walmart sometimes, not necessarily all the time. So. Okay, first layer is on there. Okay. Next thing we're going to hit it with the old sea salt. And I just like to, you know, put a nice salt coating on there. It's a lot of meat, so you can handle quite a bit of salt. But I'm also using some Hardcore Carnivore Black. That's one of my other secrets for making the perfect brisket, because it makes the perfect bark. So you don't want to use too much if you're using that. Too much salt, because it has salt in it too, so kind of go a little sparing on the salt. And of course you got to have your coarse ground black pepper, because a brisket's not a brisket without black pepper. And I typically like a lot of black pepper, but some people don't, so I just go medium on it, make everybody in the family happy. Shaker's a little low, so yeah, that's plenty. We're gonna spread that out a bit. Yeah, we'll go a little carried away there. Alright, fixed. Just spread that out a little like that. Okay. Sometimes it happens, you know. Just slow makes it hard to get it out evenly. Okay, we'll get all of our edges. It's hard when it's that low in the container. Okay, we'll just spread her out even. Okay, just like so. Now, last but not least, this does not say Hardcore Carnivore Black because I buy it in bulk, but that's what it is. And man, I am not doing good tonight. Alright, I do put a fairly good coating of this on. It gives it a really good flavor, and also it gives your brisket an excellent color. The presentation of it is awesome, so you know, just a tip. I recommend it. Don't sponsor me, don't know nothing of the people. I just tried it one day as an experiment, and well, good grief, I'm having a time of it today. And I liked it, so continue using it. Got our fat side here. A little better luck on this side. Don't speak too soon, I guess. Okay, and that should do it, guys. Just like that. Okay, and next up, we're gonna let this sit for about a half hour, 45 minutes, and then we're gonna get it on the smoker. All right, guys, we got the pellet grill heated up to 225 degrees. We're gonna throw this brisket on. Okay, so when I put this on my pellet smoker, I'm gonna put it clear down at this end. I'm putting my point end towards my heat source, my flat end away from the heat source. We got the fat cap up, and we're just gonna let this ride till it gets to 165 degrees, and then we'll come back. I'll show you how we wrap it up, and I've got some tricks that I do when I wrap this up, so you want to stick around so you can see that. All right, guys, we're gonna take a look here. This has been on here about 4 hours. See how we're doing. It's getting there. 145 degrees. We've got another 20-30 degrees to go before we wrap this thing up. It's like some of our snacks over here are getting done though. They'll be ready when we wrap it. All right, guys, we've hit 165 degrees. Oh, look at that thing. Doesn't that look good? Dang. Okay, we're gonna get this over and get it wrapped up. All right, so next thing is, it's another one of our tricks. Wagyu beef tallow in your wrap, guys. Try it, you'll be a believer. I know there's people who don't, but try it out. You just put a couple, 3, 4 good spoonfuls on there like that. A little more for good measure. Wrap this thing back up. You want to get this wrapped as tight as you can. At least I have better luck than I do. Okay, this is our fat side up. So we're going to put it back in fat side up. Putting it right back where it was. Back in, just part of the flat there. Okay, guys. All right, we're gonna let this go until it gets to about 180. Then we'll be back. All right, guys, our brisket is at 200 degrees. Oh yeah. Like butter. Okay, so we're gonna get this thing in for a rest. Now that, you might notice my hair's a mess. That's because it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. This thing's been going all night, but that's why, is it's got to have a rest. If you don't give your brisket a good rest, it's gonna be terrible. Okay, really it is. Okay, so we're going to get this thing off here, and I'll show you how we're going to rest it. We're going to put it in this cooler right here. Oh yeah, I can tell from the way this thing's moving that it is done. Put a towel in there. Towel helps absorb the moisture, helps preserve your bark, okay? And it helps keep it warmer. So this thing's going in here. for about 4.5 hours. Now, you want that thing to be in there for, you know, very minimum 1 hour. Very minimum 1 hour, but you can hold it in a cooler for about 6 to 7 hours and still have it be good. Especially if you preheat the cooler by putting water in it, and hot water, and letting it stay hot, and then putting it in. That brisket will stay warm in there for hours. In 4 hours, when we open this thing, it's going to be steaming. So there's one of your biggest tips. Give that thing a good rest. Alright guys, our brisket's been resting in this cooler right here for 5 hours. So we're going to pull this out and cut it up now. That's one of my biggest tips. Let that thing rest. I'd say at least 4 hours. 5 to 6 is better. And it'll just be just fine in that cooler. If it's in the wintertime and it's cold outside, you can put some boiling water in this cooler. Preheat it. And if you preheat it, it helps to keep it warm longer. And you can just set that in your house and it stays warm. But it's hot out here. We're pushing 100 degrees today, so I'm not concerned about it getting too cold. But anyway, I'm going to pull it out and we'll get it sliced up. Alright guys, seriously, this rest is the best thing you can do for your brisket. I can tell this thing feels good. So we're going to get this out of this paper. We're going to get it sliced up, and I'll show you this goodness we have here. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got. All right, let's see here. Not bad. Nice and tender. Passes the old pull test. Now we got to see if it passes the taste test. Oh yeah. Nice smoke ring on that thing. Not too bad. You can see our fats rendered here. Such a beefy flavor that beef bouillon gives it. So let's go over this, guys. First of all, you want to make sure you get a prime brisket. The next thing I did, I used the beef bouillon. You can pretty much use any other seasonings you want, but that beef bouillon gives it an awesome beefy flavor. The next tip I had was wrap it with the Wagyu beef tallow. And the third thing is, make sure that you give that thing a good rest, and you'll have a perfect brisket that tastes good, that is very moist and excellent to eat. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.